the White House. That was crazy. But understandable because obviously America is, and the Trump administration is shifting away from the past world order that was set up after the Second World War, and that is NATO and the alliance between the Western countries. So that's all gone. That is gone. And Australia needs to wake up and face the fact that AUKUS is dead. If NATO is dead, AUKUS is dead. And Trump has aligned himself with strongmen. He likes strongmen, and it's in the national interest, as he sees it, that America make this polarity shift. And Europe is in shock. But yeah, Australia hasn't even tried to grapple with it because Australia wants to live in this delusion. They want to be the cop in the region of whatever empire. So, yeah, whether it's American or before was the British, it's a good little settler colonial country. So that's the sort of state of play at the moment. That's the cold, hard reality of what is going on. Putin likes Trump, and Putin likes, Kim Jong-il, Xi Jinping, Orband or whatever the fuck. He likes these strong men. He likes the power and how they wield it. He wants to do that, and he's sort of doing that now with Elon. And that is the fact. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to live in a delusional world of make-believe, yeah, hey, go ahead, be my guest. You do you. If you want your little safe space to live in La La Land, that NATO isn't dead, that AUKUS isn't dead, that there's been a whole world realignment. What's in America's interest is, as they see it, is to isolate China. And he hopes to use his befriending of Putin to do that. But yeah, go ahead, you keep living in this dream world. So yeah, it was unsurprising that Trump did that, and Vance did a humiliation ritual for Zelensky. So that's what all that was. We want your mineral resources and you're going to like it. That was the message. But yeah, that was the message. That's what he's saying to not just Zelensky, but to all the other allies. This is America now. It's the Burger Reich. Fascism with American characteristics. So, yeah, I'm just going to play an interesting little clip from Left Reckoning, friend of the show, great podcast. And, yeah, it was interesting what they said.
like to focus so much on this Ukraine stuff, but like I also wanted to ask just really quick about like where this leaves Europe, because I think this has been like a very, not just like in terms of, I mean, like one, like the American relationship with Europe now that Trump's back in power is like very strained. But I think there's also been a kind of a reality check for them as well, right? I mean, hell, just like this past week, it's been kind of interesting seeing some of like the grandstanding that we've been getting from European powers, and then seeing them slowly start to back down on like Ukraine and, you know, providing troops, all this kind of stuff. I'm just curious, you know, your perspective on that with the recent events here.
Yeah, that's actually really like smart thing to observe, because it trend lines wise, it's like the big thing, you know, like Ukraine is a bit of a sideshow at this point, but like there's a larger strategic non-alignment happening, like, or the Europe is de-aligning from the US orbit. And this is, you could almost call this like non-alignment as in like Cold War non-aligned movement. And it's the bulk of Europe, but it's happening kind of like a decade later than it needed. Like we needed this energy back in the first Trump years, frankly. And it was obvious, like the writing's been on the wall that Trump is going to sort of abandon Europe in the traditional sense of like security reliance on the US. But like, yeah, now European diplomats are saying anonymously that America's the adversary, literally. You know, you have the incoming German chancellor, you have Spain. They're talking.
You hear that, Australia? Europe's moving away from America, and Australia should be doing the same.
Openly about like independence from the US. And there's some of that going on in like Asia and in the Pacific Islands too. So it's not just Europe. It's surprising to a lot of people because this whole Europe NATO project seemed like ironclad. But yeah, that's a big shift, epochal. And it's going to end up forcing, if Europe is like remotely realistic in how it views the world, it's going to end up forcing a more realistic assessment of China, because the past 5 or 6 years, Europe has really gotten drunk on like the anti-China fetish, largely copied.
Same here in Australia. It was all the big lie.
And pasting talking points from Washington. So like Australia does this too. Like there's this belief among elites that like if you ring the China threat bell enough, it will like rally America to your side. And
true. That is 100% facts. That is exactly how the Australian elites think. And yeah, you'll see the Sky News stories, you know, and this whole recent incident with the warships doing live fire drills, Chinese warships. Yet, Australia expects to do this right of navigation thing up on China's doorstep, and expects China to do nothing. See, that's the arrogance of white Australia. They still think they're a colonial power, or that they're part of a colonial power, I should say. And, you know, their attitude is just ridiculous. And it basically, it's a land of make-believe, and it defies reality. And this Trump Zelensky put down, you know, Trump and Vance humiliating Zelensky. That's a sign. That's a sign. That's a reality check. That's what's going on. Australia, you are not a part of this. You're not a world power. China is a world power. It's not to say China is better than America or America is better than China. People need to stop thinking in this manner. They're nation states. They don't care about you or me. All they care about is maintaining power and growing in power and influence. Their own self-interest, their own survival is the most important thing to them. You need to stop living in this ridiculous, delusional world that, countries care about their citizens. No, they don't.
Europe is going to have to rethink all of that now, because you can't have the two greatest powers in the international system both being adversarial to you,
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating that, America voted with Russia and China abstained. Yeah.
Dude, up is down now, man.
How much, Trump, I welcome Bernie saying, look, we need to audit the Pentagon, this sort of stuff. But I also think Trump, Trump's not trying to lower military spending globally. In fact, he's going around the world saying, y'all need to pick up the slack and start spending on weapons manufacturers. Is that venal? Is that for Americans' arms providers? Is that the China threat, or how do you assess that?
All of the above, yeah. Bernie kind of fucked up, I think. I'm obviously his guy, but he again, like the media, sort of seized on the prospect of mentioning defense cuts and was like, yeah, let's do it. But it's a reallocation within the overall defense budget. And so when you look at who the Trump administration...
They're just going to talk about sort of internal American stuff. But yeah, that was what I just wanted to do a quick video on. Just to sort of, the media isn't telling you what's really going on. They're lying to you, and they're telling you all this crap about Australia being a great nation, and that, they'll say, oh, Europe's going to do this, Europe's going to do that. And the American alliance. I mean, but it's all a lie, because exactly what happened was with the Chinese warships, there was a Coast Guard. If you watch my other video, the US Coast Guard was in the region. It didn't notify Australia. It knew what the Chinese warships were doing. That right there tells you that America doesn't give a fuck about Australia. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you have a good one. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.